He's waiting for a trade, though, to be finalized. According to Fox Bet Sportsbook, the Jets' Super Bowl odds have now climbed past teams like the Ravens and the Chargers. Skip, they're nearly level with the Cowboys. Shannon, how good will Aaron Rodgers make the Jets?
I mean, the Super Bowl a bust, didn't it? I mean, they felt they were a quarterback away last year.
That's what they felt.
Skip, they went 7-10 last year. Last season, the Jets ranked 30th in offensive EPA, expected points added, while they were third defensively in special teams. So with a quarterback like an Aaron Rodgers, I mean, can't you go 11-5? Can't you make the playoffs? Can't you challenge? I mean, that division's going to be really tough if Tua comes back healthy. The Dolphins, with the added of Jalen Ramsey, offensive firepower that they have. Buffalo, now the Buffalo has lost some key piece on their defensive side of football. And how healthy can Von Miller come back? But they're going to be right there. They should challenge Buffalo and Miami for the division.
They should.
11-5 shouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. 10-6 at worst case scenario, considering what Aaron Rodgers, I still believe he can play at a high level. He just needed to move on from Green Bay. They got Garrett Wilson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Allen Lazard will help ease the transition of being on another team. Who knows? He might get Randall Cobb. I like Uzama. Breece Hall, how soon can he come back from that ACL injury?
But he can go.
He can go. I saw it up close and personal in Denver. And that defense is really, really good. Sauce Gardner will only get better. Quentin Williams, C.J. Mosley. So, Skip, I'm thinking they should, at the bare minimum, be a playoff team. But I think their goals and aspirations should be a lot higher than just making the playoffs.
Okay, so some of the odds makers have vaulted Aaron Rodgers' New York Jets all the way up to the 5th best odds.
Okay.
I love this because Aaron Rodgers, for the first time in a long time, maybe ever, is on a hot seat.
Right.
Because you've made the point, the Milwaukee Green Bay media is not the toughest in the world. I think they're tougher than some people give them credit for, but there just aren't as many of them as there are in New York. In New York, will be on, so to speak, hair trigger to see, can you do this or not, Aaron bleepin' Rodgers, because he is the missing piece to the puzzle. So to your point, the defense is loaded. The defense is good enough to make a deep playoff run.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they went and got Lazard, and I don't doubt they'll add a Cobb and or a Mercedes to help and benefit the wish list of Aaron Rodgers that he denies. And all of a sudden, Aaron is no longer on the easy street that was Lombardi way. Because he was playing, you pointed out earlier this week, in the all-time comfort zone because they did break through way back when, 12 years ago, and as a road wildcard team, they won the Super Bowl. And he became a made man. And he validated with 4 regular season MVPs. And yet he got into a rhythm in Green Bay of playoff disasters, playoff disappointments, playoff debacles, and then immediately flipping the script in the locker room in the postgame interview by saying, you know, I don't really know if I want to play anymore. I might or I might not. And all of a sudden, Packer Nation had to drop to bended knee and say, please come back, Aaron. Please come and save us next year. And every year he repeated that cycle. And every year it was like they were thankful that Aaron would actually stoop to play for Green Bay.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, what he did was like the misdirection. Well, if I say I might retire over here, you'll forget about the last game that I played in which we didn't win and we were at home. So I'm talking about retirement. Aaron, man, how could Aaron retire? He just won the MVP. Are you not going to talk about that game that he just lost on his home field to Jimmy Garoppolo? Are you not going to talk about that game that he just lost on his home field to Jared Goff? Are we not going to talk about having an NFC Championship game on his home field? And all he talked about, he went on Pat McAfee's show every single, you know, I'd love to have one of these things at home. Ooh, it's been a while I hadn't had one of these things at home. And you got it at home, and what did you do? Nothing.
You had it 1st and goal at the 8, and you went incomplete, field goal.
And so, Skip, I think the thing is that we saw what happened with Tom. The defense is very comparable to what they had at the Bucs. I think the Jets might be a little better.
It's a good analogy. I would agree. Yeah.
You got Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams. You probably got 2 of the top players at their position. Offense, you got a young, talented group of guys. Offensive line is okay, not great, but it's not bad.
But Garrett Wilson was the offensive rookie of the year.
So with that being said, and we saw what Tom did, But Tom is the ultimate teammate. He's the ultimate bring.
He's the flip side of this
He's
guy.
the ultimate bring together guy.
Yep.
And so
remember, he's taken the Bucs at the beginning of the pandemic into the park, and they're getting run out of the park because they said we're in quarantine. You can't come out here and throw to these guys.
Here's something that he's going to face that he's never faced before. He's never had expectations in Green Bay like he's never have going to the Jets.
Agreed.
And he doesn't know what that's like. No. He thinks he knows what it's like. Okay, oh, you say quarterback? No, because we always made excuses. If Aaron Rodgers had a defense, if Aaron Rodgers had that, if the Packers would have taken Justin Jefferson, if they would have took this, I get all that. Guess what? He won all those MVPs the last 2 years, and he didn't have Justin Jefferson, and he didn't have a Jamar Chase, and he didn't have a Derrick Henry, and he didn't have all these other things. So what was that? So now he won the MVP, but then you turn around and say, well, so what? Okay, you give Justin Jefferson. Can he win better something more than an MVP?
Yep. Agreed. Jets, be careful what you wish for, because are you sure it's still Aaron bleeping Rodgers that you're about to trade for? Are you sure it's still that 4-time MVP? Because, Shannon, last year, he was looking Zeke-like. He was hitting the wall.
Yeah.
He was having a hard time. He was losing a little bit of his nerve in the pocket because it happens as you talked about Tom Brady. Yeah, it just happens.
And Skip, I don't think he didn't have a 300-yard passing game. He had double-digit interceptions for the first time in a I think he'd only had 2 of those. So this was his worst season since he became a starter in Green Bay, if I'm not mistaken, in 2008.
Yep, that is correct. Are you sure he's that guy? Well, they're hoping for a rebirth.
Well, Jets better hope so.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Now, last point was how amazing it was that you said, they might be able to challenge Miami and Buffalo in this division. Well, you neglected to mention the team in Foxborough, coached by the genius, right? Okay, well.
They're making moves.
They're making moves. They got Juju yesterday, for what it's worth. And
well, what Juju should do is Patrick Mahomes could get free advertising on his TikTok. Because he made him a lot of money. Juju, not a whole lot of teams was giving Juju multiple year deals until he went to went to Kansas City.
Yep.
And give him credit, he played really, really well, made some big-time catches, got the big pass interference. But Patrick Mahomes, hey, bro, you want to advertise anything you want on my social media platform? Yeah, boy, got you.
Okay, good for you. Final point. I believe that if Aaron Rodgers can get them to the postseason, which he should be able to do with that talent around him, I believe he's got choke artists in him in the postseason, and I think it has always come through. I think it was even coming through in that run to the Super Bowl because remember what happened at Chicago? My guy from Vanderbilt, Jay Cutler, got hurt and was on the exercise bike the whole second half, and Caleb Haney outplayed Aaron Rodgers. He almost threw a pick 6 to Urlacher, and he pretty much stunk up the second half, and they survived.
Well.
They survived, and then he played great against Pittsburgh. I give you this. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and deservedly so.
Okay, I got it. But since then, 7-9 in the postseason, and don't forget that a lot of there's good fortune everywhere where he got to play Joe Webb at quarterback for the Vikings, a receiver at quarterback, and he got to play Kirk Cousins at Washington. Dez caught it. You don't think he did, but I think he did. And if you let that stand up because it was called a touchdown on the field, we might be having a different story. Okay. Remember Odell that he loves? Odell did him a big favor because Odell took the receivers to South Beach to get ready for Odell's first ever playoff game, which happened to be up on the frozen tundra of Lambeau, and they came out and stunk it up early on and got blown out. And I can keep going on even to the Dallas game that we talked about before. It took 2 intergalactic field goals by Mason Crossbar that off his foot looked like they were wrong. It looked like a slice and a hook, and somehow they found the crossbar. I don't know how, but it took those for him to survive that game. So those are the 6, even the game against the Rams that they won. Remember, Aaron Donald had cracked ribs, and Jared Goff tried to play with a thumb screw, right? Okay. A lot of good breaks here. And then the losses, the 9 losses, go back and look hard, Jets fans, at the 9 losses because there's some debacles.
Remember, the Jets say we don't got 9 losses in our career in the playoffs, so we'll take anything.
Okay, so
we'll take anything right now.
Okay, they're ecstatic. And I'm not trying to rain on a parade that hasn't happened yet in New York. I'd love to see it happen because I got a lot of friends who are Jets fans. But in the end, I'm just not sure he's still that guy that you think he is.
So you don't think he can win 10 games with that team?
Okay, I'll give you 10 games with that team, but I won't give you postseason. I think he will disappoint you in the postseason.
So you don't think 10 games will get you to the postseason?
No,
or are you saying he'll get to the postseason,
okay,
but a disappoint?
Okay, now that we're to 17, it's 10-7.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would get you there. But then you're going to be one and done with Aaron Rodgers in the postseason. Well, and that is history?
Yeah, but I think he can get at least 11 wins, Skip.
Okay, do you?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I don't know.
If he, Skip, I mean, I don't think he's totally stepped off a cliff. Can he be better than White? Can he be better than Flacco? Can he be better than Wilson? Can he be better than those guys? Skip, those guys won 7 games. Damn. He can't be better than them.
I don't think he can be better than Fluco in the postseason.
No. That's he on a whole different level. I mean, Fluco as far as playoffs, you probably go Brady, Montana, then Joe Flacco. As far as playoff performers,
agreed. It's hard to explain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Given his resume in the regular season, it defies. I mean, they need to do a 30 for 30 on that one.
Yeah.
To explain Joe Flacco how he is in the regular season versus how he is in the postseason.
Yeah. Well, to your point, if he just gets them to the postseason, Jets fans will be very happy with that.
Right.
And then let the chips fall.
No, they'll be happy, and then they're going to start seeing Super Bowl. This is our year.
Okay. It won't be. Not with this guy.
I can't wait for those New York media sessions, gentlemen. I think those are going to be must-see TV when he faces.
They're not going to be going for that
principal.
condescension.
Not for 1 second. All right. John Morant, gentlemen, how is his suspension going to impact him for the rest of this season? Let's discuss coming up next right here on FS1.